Are you having trouble selling your product or service? We're going to talk about it on today's podcast.
I've spent the last 20 years studying, teaching, and coaching people to find their greatness and take their lives to the next level. Along the way, it's become evident that emotions are at the root of everybody's successes and failures. Worry and fear are the enemies, and it's time to forge the armor and earn the tools to overcome the two things that could single-handedly destroy your future. Hi, my name is Michael Johnson, and I'm a life coach, a peak performance trainer, and I'm the emotions guy. It's time to take back control of how you feel, control of how you act, and control of how you experience life. It's time to become a lifer, a new breed of overachiever focused on living every minute to its fullest. We are responsible for how we feel, and no one and no thing can make us feel anything. Emotional mastery is our journey, and emotional education and intelligence is the key. We are lifers, and this is Magic for Life.
What's up, lifers? Michael Johnson here with the Magic for Life podcast. I'm glad you joined me today because we're going to talk about your product or service that you offer. See, entrepreneurs out there, come on now. Admit it. You've had troubles at times, maybe right now, maybe during this whole pandemic thing, maybe in the past. You've had trouble selling your product or service. And I totally get it. I totally understand. We go through our phases, and trends go through their phases. And sometimes things work really well for a while, and then all of a sudden it just falls out from underneath you. And I wanted to tell you about this experience that I had. Many of you know, I was a professional ballroom competitor back in the day. I also have a brick and mortar ballroom school that I still own to this day. And I wanted to tell you a little story about an experience I had with our offer. When I first opened our studio, there were a lot of things that our industry, our marketplace, just didn't do. We just didn't do it. It wasn't what was normal in our area. And we decided we were going to get out of the box a little bit. And what we did was we changed up the offer. We're going to sell the same thing that we were always selling, but we changed up the offer so that it actually came across new. Now, when I did this, and I've done this a number of times in my career and my professional career with products and services that I've done, and sometimes it's just a matter of changing up how you say it, how you talk about it, how you bring your product or service to the marketplace so that they will feel it's new or fresh. It's a new opportunity. It's an opportunity switch. It's something that they can attach to, that they can go, oh, that's cool. Yeah, let's do it. Or sometimes it's just plain out so that they can hear it, right? Because sometimes it's not the words or in a visual way that they can see it, hear it, understand it. Sometimes if you talk to them straight up, they go, oh yeah, I definitely need that stuff. But then you go, well, why haven't you bought? And they go, well, do you have that? And you're like, I just told you I had that. So if you're an entrepreneur, if you've been in business for any period of time, you know this happens. And so sometimes it's about your product or service getting fatigued. Right. And so that's kind of an interesting thing. If you've run any ads or done any ad campaigns on Google or Facebook, right, your ads can sometimes get ad fatigue, meaning the ad could be amazing and it could be generating really well. And then all of a sudden it just tanks, goes away. And you're like, wait a second, it was perfect. It was going really well. That ad would then get ad fatigue. Well, your offer, your service and product that you give can actually get fatigue because it just gets so rote and normal. So what we did was we were selling our space, right, for dancers to come and practice in our space. And we were we were selling it like one off, right? And what we decided to do was change it up. And at the time we were sort of the pioneers, right? And the challenge of being a pioneer is you often get arrows in your back. But we were the pioneer in it, and we said, well, you know what? Let's just not deal with that. What if we just charged a monthly fee, like a subscription type fee to come and utilize our space? And so we did that. And as I did that, oh my gosh, at first we got some serious pushback. People were like, oh, you're not going to be able to do that. Oh, that's weird. You can't do that. But we did it. We made it an offer, and all of a sudden it became the thing. Next thing you know, our entire marketplace in our area locally, because this is a brick and mortar store, decided that they were going to do it too because they saw that it was working. And so we changed up the offer, and it changed up how people responded to our thing. Okay. Recently, we've done it again. We've changed up the offer and we're trying some new things, and we're doing that again. Right now, what I have to say is, in your marketing efforts, right? Because this is really what we're talking about. We're talking about your marketing efforts to be able to bring your product and service that you know you can help somebody with, right? Don't sell things that are fake. Don't sell air, right? I'm not condoning that, right? If you have something that you can help somebody get from point A to point B, great, sell that. Give them that service, that product, that thing that helps them solve that problem that they have, or that challenge they're trying to overcome, or that thing they're wanting to do. Sell that. But it may be that if you're having a challenge with your offer, it's because you just need to change it up. You need to redo how you're thinking of that offer. Now, how can you do that? Well, first and foremost, I'm the idea guy. Okay, so if you're having any troubles with coming up with your offer, coming up with your thing that you're going to do, brainstorming what your superpower is, holy cow, let me know. This is what we do, right? But if you're having a hard time, sometimes it takes getting into that creative mode and saying to yourself, okay, here's this pen that we're selling, and I want to sell this, but everybody else is selling that pen. What can I offer differently so that I can sell this pen? And sometimes it's just changing the way that you're delivering it. And you go, well, maybe if I sell two pens, that'll be better, right? We've, this is kind of a thing, right? Well, maybe if they got two pens, well, what if they got two pens for the price of one? Well, then I lower the cost on that. Well, why would I do that? Well, because maybe you have something else on the back end that you're going to pitch to them. And if you take a little bit of a hit on the front end, you might be able to get a bigger return on the back end. Because once they see what you do and that they like what you do, they might actually buy what you have on the back end. Now that's a pretty good deal, right? You could maybe think and say, well, is that trickery? No, it's not trickery. I just gave you a great deal. If I gave you half off on these, you can't get these half off anywhere else, just so that I could put my better offer, my bigger thing, my most important life-changing thing, whatever that thing is, right? Product, service, doesn't matter. And I have the opportunity now, because I gave away this. I basically bought my way in to give you a shot to buy this thing that is a higher ticket. And that might actually well outweigh me giving away the thing that was really cool, right? And so we do that. You have all sorts of different ways to do that, right? There are lots of different creative marketing ideas and concepts that you can do that with. However, I've seen people go and copy the idea. Well, hey, I'll give away two of these. And then you ask them, because they're trying to beat their competitor, right? So instead of actually then coming back and saying, okay, I'm gonna try to recover my costs and sell you my main thing over here by giving away some free cool stuff, they just give away the free cool stuff because they think they're competing with everybody else. You're not competing with everybody else. You're missing out, right? If you have something that you know can change somebody's world, whatever it is, it could be a little widget, it could be an information product, a course. If you have something that can change somebody's life, and it's an exchange, and they feel like that you can help them and you can help them, then it is your obligation to get this product to them. Now, whether or not it's on the front end or on the back end, this is where we have to get creative. This is where we have to look at your offer and go, well, gosh, should we put these on the front end, the pens on the front end, and put your other thing on the back end, or should we flip flop it, put your thing on the front end, put your pens on the back end? What do we need to do to get your product or service into a space or a concept or an idea that will actually get your ideal client, your perfect client, to see it and finally go, oh yeah, I need that. Now, if you've been in business for any period of time, and I know both, That there have been times when you have started to work with a client and they go, gosh, how long have you been around? And you're like, gosh, I've been doing this for years and years and years. They're like, I just literally heard of you yesterday. And you're thinking to yourself, gosh, all those ads, all of that push of content and social media and all of these things that we've done, and you heard of us yesterday? I've been doing this for 20 years. What do you mean you just heard of us? And I mean, we all do it, right? So that's the importance of us continuing to push our thing, our offer, our service, our thing that we know we can help with, that we know we're good at, that we can share that thing with the world. Because as we continue to do that, we're going to need to find different ways. Now, obviously, you find one way, and as it works, you get it going. You try to get it to a place that's evergreen. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I say evergreen, then we need to have a conversation. Maybe I'll do an episode about that. I'll write that down. But if you don't, you want to turn your thing, your offer into an evergreen concept, and then you have to keep an eye on it, because if it starts to get fatigued, you got to find a different way. And so you might be in that spot. You might be in that place where you're like, gosh, I've been using my superpower. I've been using my item, and now my item or my offer or my evergreen product is starting to fatigue and it needs some life. What can we do to it? Let me know. Let's get in. Let's have a conversation and let's figure it out, right? But you have to realize that your offer could change everything, and just rearranging it, moving around, changing how you're going to deliver it, and giving people some ridiculous value up front is always a good idea. Free is not necessarily the important element of that. It's the important part is the value, not necessarily the free. And so you want to keep that in mind, because as you look at it, yeah, you might be able to give something away for free, as long as you understand that you're going to mitigate it with something on the back end, and you're going to take your chance and know your KPIs, your numbers, to be able to understand whether or not you're going to be able to give that away for free. But if you go and you decide you're going to give away all your main product for free so that you can get people to buy, well, you're going to have to do something on the back end. Otherwise, you're going to go out of business. Right. And that's the challenge with actual physical products, is that you do not want to create a commodity. Right. If you create a commodity, it's a race to the bottom. And now you're going to be competing with others. Right. If you can stay away from that, that would be ideal. Right. Anyway, I hope this helps. I hope this brings some clarity for you about your offer, and really just trying to figure out how you can create a better offer, how you could create a different offer, how you could create that first offer that's going to work. I get that, right? So you could be in a few different phases of that. But if you need help or somebody that needs to hear this episode, please share it with them. #Majic for Life on the Instagrams, and make sure you share us on Facebook. Please, we would love a review. Send us a review on to info@Majic4Life, or just leave it on iTunes. Let them know, because they'll just pop us right up to the top of the charts of podcasts. We want to be up there. We want to let people know. We want to help them as best we can. So if you know somebody that needs it, please share it. And we'll see you next time on the Majic for Life podcast. Take care.
Hey lifers, we expect upgrades to the base operating functions of the things like our phones, cars, and even refrigerators. Why then has it not been made a priority that we upgrade the operating systems of our emotional states? We dance around the subject of emotional mastery from a young age. We have so much more knowledge in today's world, yet we're still teaching outdated methods of emotional education, if any are being taught at all. It's time for a change. It's time for an upgrade to our emotional education. Let me help you learn how to do that. Pick up your free copy of Every Minute at everyminutebook.com.